Welcome to the Crochet Guide Australia. I'm your host Mikey from Canada, and I run the crochetcrowd.com up here, and as well as a global resource on YouTube with learning how to crochet and also tutorials that you'll find. Now recently I just did this father's pullover sweater, and it's something that I wanted to do for myself. Now I'm 50 years old and I've been crocheting since I was 14, and it took me all these years to get over the fear of making something for myself. And I think a lot of the fear is, what size are you really? Are you comfortable with measuring your own body? Do you have the right yarn? Do you have the right lifestyle for the particular product? And for myself, I was ready to go. Now I'll tell you a little bit behind the scenes is that when you make sweaters or any kind of wearables, you're thinking and you're crocheting along, it's like, geez, this thing is massive. And you realize that when you put all the components flat out, you're almost crocheting yourself a blanket, but it's all just kind of done in a way that is all, by the time it's all put together, it just wraps around your body comfortably. So you have the impression that making clothing is actually a quick process, but in actual fact, it can take you the same time frame of making a blanket. So that's something that you have to get over, the idea of, oh, I'll just whip that sweater off in a matter of a few hours. It does take time, but the pride level that you feel when you're finished something like this is amazing. As a crocheter, personally speaking, I like to do the home decor stuff. Blankets is my specialty, and I like stuff like that so I can just put my hook into the wind and not really think about it. But I love samplers. I like the idea of texture work in order to play. Now with this particular sweater that I'm wearing, there was no texture to it. It's just a slight texture that you see, but no big deal. And I double stranded it to make it heavier. I'm in Canada. You can still see snow is out the window. So for something like this in my region, this actually just makes a lot of sense. But technically speaking, I like doing the fun stuff. Just the small stuff that gives you that sense of joy. Look what I just did, and have that sense of pride. Now, men in crochet, what is that all about? I know. Let's talk about that. So the guild asked me to talk about, a male's perspective on crocheting. I don't see crochet as a male perspective or a female or other. I just feel like it's just a creative art. For myself, I'm fascinated that you can take a strand and actually make something real with it. To have something that accounts for your time of when you're in a resting position, to not only just take in the environment, but also have something literally tangible and in your hands by the end of an evening. I was inspired by my mom. She was so involved in charity that she would make scarves, and when she's watching TV, and then night after night, she's got scarf after scarf. So if you want to make a difference with others, it's a great outreach to do. So, and I don't think it requires you to have a certain type of hand in order to do it. You have to have the desire. And when the desire is strong enough, you are capable of so many great things. With this particular sweater, there's 4 components to it. There's the front, the back, and then the 2 sleeves. And the sleeves are made up on an angle like this, and then they're just rolled around and then sewn down. So when you go to make something like this, I will have laid it on a table and then just attach the shoulders, and then also then attach the sleeves, and then just ran a seam line going all the way down right to the very base. This time that it takes to put something together, you realize that all the stitch work and the time you invested is actually done already. And so the sewing, even though it feels like a long process, it technically really isn't when you compare all your work to it. Now, sometimes you can customize. So this particular sweater has 2 extra rows in the top of the neck. I wanted it more closed in than what the model had. So the nice thing about being able to do your own clothing is that you can customize to what makes it work for you. So I did the large size of the sample, but I technically, in size wise, I just took some measurements of it, and I should have done the 2 extra large because that's what I am technically. So you have to watch in the yarn arts that you take your measurements of your body. I think the sleeves are a little bit too long hanging off the shoulder, so I know where to adjust. So I look at this as a stepping process because you have to start somewhere. And now that I kind of got the bug of making something, I'm actually more curious to go online, maybe find something else and to see what I'm capable of. Because as I mentioned, the stronger desire that you have in your mind, you're capable of so many great things. So finally, the Crochet Crowd here is inspire, create, and celebrate. That is our slogan. And what that means is that you're inspired to do something, you actually create it, and then you celebrate it as a community. It is so important in today's age that we stay together and focus as a community, and the yarn arts is a great distraction from all the world issues that you see. So for myself, I'm in my little happy space of enjoying yarn, and maybe this is something that you can be of interest to you. There's a full tutorial available on YouTube for this sweater if you'd like to follow through. We go through the instructions. I always start my videos off the same way. We do a pattern overview, what my direction is, and then we just go through it step by step, including the sewing process. And this is just one of 4,000 tutorials that you'll find on our channel. And if you're left-handed, you have no excuse because we have those as well. It's just a camera flip, and we try to be inclusive to all, as well as having closed captioning in up to 300 languages. So thank you for asking me to participate with the Crochet Guild Australia. I'm your host, Mikey from Canada, and we wish you a good day, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.